2019 Subaru BRZ. And as you know, the back seats are pretty much useless. So I got myself here a back seat delete. I'm going to install it today. So let's unbox this. So this has some pretty good material. It has some padding for sound dampening. They got a decent material here. Has some carpet surrounding this. Alright, well, first things first. You're going to need to take these back seats out. So we'll need to take these back seats out, and then we can install them. Alright, so the first thing I need to do to remove the back seats is remove the bottom cushion. First I gotta remove this 10mm bolt right here. And alright, so let's do that right now. Alright, so as I remove this one, that's the only bolt holding it. So now what you have to do is lift up. And then let me get some leverage here. So you gotta lift up and then push down, and it comes right out. So as you can see here, you have to press down and get it out of these hooks here, and then it'll come out. I already did the passenger side. I practiced on that one just to make sure I knew how to do it, but here you go. You just press down and pull on out, and then it'll come out. So they got the 10mm bolts in the front. Press down, you pull it out. So next we're gonna have to remove this bracket here. These are 12mm bolts here. So let's remove it. We're gonna need to save the top bolt and washer for when we install the back seat delete. So should not be too hard. Just remove these right here. Alright, and just like that it's removed. Do that to both sides. So So I gotta do it to this side as well. So next we have to remove the rear carpet in here. That's really easy, just fold it up and take it out. Then you gotta remove these little clips from here. They kind of slide and pop out. You gotta do it over here as well. They kind of slide over right here in these little grooves and pop out. You do it on both sides. And then next we have to remove these 12mm bolts here. There's one on each side. So let's do that right now. We could do that. It shouldn't be too hard, too difficult. And I believe next we gotta pull out the side carpet right here. I'm just following the instructions. They say to remove this, so we'll do that next, but first we gotta take out those bolts. So next we gotta pull off these side panels. I already did it on the passenger side. Let me show you how that's done over here. So at first you need to take these clips right here. You take a screwdriver. There's a little like tab thing. You just pop them up here and here. Oh. Try not to let them fall out of reach, but you just pop those up. I found there's one more right here. You need to pop out. And after that, you just take right here in the door sill, you just kind of pull back the weather stripping here, and you kind of just grab it. I'm gonna put the camera down. So you just pull back on this and just yank it up. It's held on by these white clips, but don't worry, you shouldn't break it. It's kind of scary the first time you do it, but it's just being held in with little white clips. So once you have it out, you can kind of wiggle it out here. So on this side, I had a problem getting out this little plastic piece. You just gotta press on it and get it out. I didn't have any problem with the other side. The other side just came right out, but this side I did have a problem. But it's out now. Also, if any of these white plastic pieces stick in your door still, just take a nylon removal tool, just pop it out, stick it back in the door, in the back of the panel, and it should be fine. You're gonna need those for when you put the panel back in. You're gonna need it to be able to stick it back into the door. So once you got all that out, we move on to the next step. So next we gotta remove this bracket here. Just remove the 3 bolts holding it in place, And then we put the bolts back in so that it covers the holes back up so you don't have exposed metal coming into the car here. So let's do that right now. So I've removed the bracket, put the bolts back in to cover up the holes. That's to not allow moisture to come back into the car. Next, we got to remove these black clips from this liner up here. They're just like the ones before. You just pop them open with a screwdriver and they come out. So you do that to all four. And then for this install, we won't be reusing these. So next is to take off these trim pieces that were right here. So here's one right here. So what I did was push it up to get the first two out. And the last one I was able to pop out once these two slid up and out. They're the same white clips from before. They're right here. And then they just slide off if you just push up on it, and then you could pop the last one out. And you could do that for both sides. So next we got to remove this C-hook from the back. It has two 12mm bolts and this plastic clip on the side. It's up under this lip, so all you need is a wrench. If you have a ratchet, it'd probably make it a lot easier. But I was able to do it with this side. And then it's just these two bolts. You just got to pull them out. And that's it. Next, you're going to want to slide these pieces back up into the groove again. Get any of these white clips out of the metal and put it into these. Then you can snap it into place. If you try to put it in without doing this first, you have a chance of breaking it. I did that to one a little bit ago, just a second ago on the first one. I ended up breaking it. So luckily, some came on the other piece that I took out, so I just used it from that. I don't think that part will be reused, so I'm able to put this one back in. It's not too hard, you just push it in and snap it in. Next is to remove the seatbelt. If you want to, it's only optional. The problem is, if you don't remove it, you're going to have rattling inside your car. You can tape them up if you want to, but there's no point in keeping them in here due to the fact that you're not going to have a back seat, so you're not going to be able to use them for anything anyway. So to save weight and also just so there's no rattling in the car, I'm going to remove mine. There's 14mm bolts down here that hold the seat belts in, and then a 17mm nut behind here. All you do is remove these and you can pull it all out. Uninstalled the seat belts. I've uninstalled the seats. Everything's uninstalled. Now it's ready to reinstall the panels and then actually install the rear seat delete. There shouldn't be too much more left. We'll see. Maybe I'll make this into two parts. We'll see. So next we gotta put the side panels back in. It's not too hard. You just put the white clips back in. Make sure you tuck it underneath here. Put the black little tabs back onto the back panel. The back side panel. Shouldn't be too hard. It's just reverse of what you did to take it out. So let's do that right now. See, and that's all there is to that. So the kit that I got has these little covers with these little black push pins. Here, let's go over here. See, it has these little push pins, and what these are for is to cover up these white spots here from where the seat bracket was. So now you just take these little push pins and you push it through the hole here, and then it covers up the holes, and that's it. So just like that. This one's a little hard to do one-handed, so I'll finish this off camera. Okay, I ran into a little problem. So these little tabs that came with it, they came with a big one and a small one here. I tried both of them. Neither one fits. This one is way too small. The other one is way too big. So instead, I'm just going to screw back in with these black bolts that came out of it, and that should work just fine. It just, you know, it probably doesn't look as clean, but hey, it should work anyways. These are the bolts that came with it, so they're not as nice as the other ones, but they should work. They are black, so they kind of blend in a little bit, but they're not as smooth. That's okay though. They'll kind of blend in into the back. You can't see it. It'll be behind the seat anyways. And when you're at in the front seat, in the driver's seat, this seat comes way back here. You can't see back here anyways. Next to go in is this support brace that came with the kit. It'll go back here on the back here. Just go in here. It'll go underneath this over here, and it'll bolt in right here where the bracket came out for the seatbelt, or not for the seatbelt, for the back seat holder. This bracket here, it'll just go right here. It's a plastic support brace with carpet. So I'll put that in now. So this brace actually goes above this little section here. It actually fits on top. You put the bolts in with these washers that are already on the bolts on there. You put it on loosely for now, because later on when we go to tighten everything up, you want to make sure that the fitment is good. So you'll leave it loose for now. Just put it on there lightly, and then we'll tighten it up later on. Put in these panels, and then you actually take these bigger ones here and pop them through, and it holds them into this into the bracket here. It's too much sun. There we go. So you can see it actually pushes through. But I actually unbolted the bracket here so that you can lift it up. It was too hard to push it through without doing that, so I went ahead and unbolted it for now, and I'll rebolt it back again once I get both sides in. I already got that side in because I was having such a hard time putting it in. I wanted to try it out before I videoed it, but it's not too hard once you do that. I just unbolted it since it was only hand tightened anyways. I unbolted it, pushed these guys through, and it holds it in place. Okay, next we're gonna put in this back panel. It already came with 4 fasteners. These go into the original OEM spot where the fasteners went up there on the top. So we'll just push those in and then move on to the next step. So after you put the back panel in, all you have to do is tighten up those bolts down here. And now you have, I have compartments here to put stuff in. Also, I put the sound deadening down in here to try to reduce some of the sound. This came with the kit. I don't know, I might make this a little better later on, but now there's panels on each side. You can put stuff in it. And then after you tighten everything down, make sure that you put your back panel back in, and you're all done. So thank you for watching. That was my rear seat delete video. Please watch again and wait for my next video to come out. Thanks.